Hey, what's up, everyone? It's your boy, That One Gamer, and we're back with another big Poppy Playtime Chapter 4 news video. Today, we will be discussing some of the brand new Chapter 4 news, alongside with the official name and description, and so much more. So first of all, a couple hours ago, the developer named Tyler recently revealed a ton of news about the new sheep character. In the Poppy Playtime server, if you go down below, you can see a picture of the sheep character alongside with the new description and her name. So on the top right is her name, which is Baba Chops. And you're probably wondering, why is such a weird name? Well, I'll explain it. So in the name, Ba represents a sheep, since sheeps make the sound Ba. So they decided to call Baba Chops. And the reason they added the chops was because that's kind of the meat that the sheep have. So if you add it all together, you could name Baba Chops. And now since we've covered that, let's finally read the description. It reads, the black sheep of the bunch. Baba likes to keep her space, like a lot of space. Like too much space. She can be distant, quiet, low energy, and usually requires a lot of coaxing to get her out of the house. Luckily for her, she has some very persistent friends. She usually perks up after a while, but the next day we're right back to the same old tune. So we now know who and what this character is and what her personality traits are, but the part that makes the most sense was she can be distant, quiet, low energy, and it usually requires a lot of coaxing to get her out of the house. This makes sense because in the teaser trailer, we saw a dog day eating Bobby Bear Hug up, but then Baba Chops came up and started devouring him very quietly. So in the gameplay, this character could be very quiet and very stealthy, making it hard to notice that she's even there. So moving on, recently we got a whole Steam page for Chapter 4 at Poppy Playtime that has a ton of secrets with pictures and new description explaining the whole entire game. So in the first picture, we get a picture of what seems to be like a labs area, a place where the experiments could be tested on and experimented on. On the bottom are the colors of red, yellow, and blue. And on the top front of the picture, you can see a big spiral with the colors blue, red, and yellow. Now at first, this all seems like nothing, since no one else came up with this whole entire theory until now. You see, those colors are the exact same colors of Huggy Wuggy and Boxy Boo. And this would make sense since out of the whole entire franchise, we barely got to see Huggy Wuggy or Boxy Boo, so this could be hinting at the possible return of Huggy Wuggy in the first actual appearance of Boxy Boo. But I would take this with a grain of salt since this is still a theory. Moving on, the second picture takes place in a very dark room. Everything is torn apart and it's smeared with blood. Everything is broken, its parts and pieces fall into shambles. And in the front is a very huge blue gate, which seems to be locked up. Which, again, is another hint towards our return of a beloved blue fairy creature / friend, Huggy Wuggy. We can also see a very big vent on the top of the picture. This also seems like it could be the starting point of the chapter. The third picture takes place in the sewers-like area. There are bricks and barrels, pipes, and broken tools everywhere, alongside with smeared blood, too. In the front is a huge hole, and on the outside of that hole is another area with fog and smoke hiding it from sight. On the bottom right is a generator, which will probably have the power on somehow in the game. Now, this fourth image just confirms the idea of the lab-like area, since in this fourth image, we're able to see an area with tons of blood and broken doors, alongside with prison doors and food containers. Something does not look right here. There is some smeared blood and broken tools, alongside with shambles and broken pieces of metal, wood, and metal. This area is where they could and would experiment on the toys and orphans, turning them into the monsters we now know today. But the labs will probably hide a ton of secrets and new characters that were never heard of because they're failed experiments. So we will also be seeing Baba Chops and the Nightmare Critters, since she's a part of the Nightmare Critters gang. Now, the fifth image is pretty interesting. You see in the picture, it confirms that the purple hand will be making another return, and also on the bottom is green smoke instead of brown smoke. It's now green fog. It's kind of similar to the catwalks in Chapter 3 in the Mudge area. Now, this is the last image. It's the most important image in the whole entire Steam page. In the picture, we get a close-up image of Baba Chops, and I gotta say, I'm loving her design. Since every smiling critter had a pendant, Baba Chops has one too. But since she's not
a part of this, but since she is a part of the Nightmare Critter set, she's the skull for her pendant. This could represent death, and I like her dead black eyes and her black hair and white mouth. I also found out that this character was inspired by a Sheep Rampage, so good job on that cameo, I guess. Anyways, now it is time to read the description and find out more clues. It reads, you are pushed deeper into the undiscovered depths of the Playtime Co. factory, far below anything the world knew here. You'll encounter terrifying new threats and discover shocking revelations. Can you outwit the new creations lurking in the shadows? Can you survive here long enough to eventually unravel the mysteries behind the experiments? Every step will test your courage, every puzzle will challenge your mind, and every corner may be your last. So I like how it says in every corner may be your last. It really adds on to the darker side of things. Since in the teaser trailer, we could see Dog Day eating out one of his friends and his own kind. So this is just another preview of how scary the real game is going to be. And then they had a features page, which reads, new characters and allies. New extraordinary characters guide your way and haunt your nightmares. Expanding lore. Discover more about the dark secrets of the Blade & Co. and its twisted past. Mind-bending puzzles, solve intricate puzzles that could mean the difference between life and death. Heart-pounding atmosphere with haunting visuals and immersive sound design. The terror never lets up. Will you escape the horrors hidden within Playtime Co., or will you succumb to the terror? Survival isn't guaranteed. Fear is. So we now know that the game is going to have even more new puzzles, and new allies and enemies, alongside with new locations and lore. I genuinely am very excited to see where this goes, and that was it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all on the next ride.